Oh, hello. I spent way too much money on Blu-rays this month. Let's talk about them. Excuse me one moment. What's up, everyone? Red Eye Reviews here with another episode of Physical Therapy for you, this time for the month of October 2024. We are just flying through the year, so with that said, I'm going to try and fly through this video and make this one of the shortest physical therapy episodes ever.
Lies. Oh, lies!
That's going to be very tough because I have a lot of great titles to show off this month. Some out of print, hard to find titles. You're going to want to stick around to the end of the video. I have a 4K from Paramount of a newly anointed cult classic from the 90s. That's pretty hard to find and worth showing off and talking about. So you're going to want to stick around for that, for sure. If you're unfamiliar with the series, Physical Therapy is a monthly series in which I go over all of the Blu-rays and 4Ks that I pick up in a given month, and I talk about them. Are they worth picking up? Are they worth an upgrade? Things like that. So in keeping with my promise to make things short and sweet, let's just jump right in, shall we?
Y'all love to talk, film, discuss, to critique.
First up, I have kind of a controversial pick because it's a movie that not everybody likes. You either love this movie or you hate it. I love it, so I bought it. SLC Punk on 4K from Sony Pictures. Now, SLC Punk has only been available before on DVD from Sony, and that's an old DVD from the early days of DVD. It's never been on Blu-ray, but it was only on 4K included in the Sony Pictures Classic box set. I had no intention on picking that box set up. I really just wanted to get this, but the eBay prices at the time said hell no. I was in Hollywood for LA Comic Con earlier this month, and I went into Amoeba Music, and our good friends at Amoeba Music had this sitting there for $44.95. I couldn't resist, had to pick it up. If you're unfamiliar with the movie, SLC Punk is about Steve-O, played by Matthew Lillard, who is a young punk in Salt Lake City, Utah in the mid-'80s, and he's dealing with growing up, conformity, friends, life and death. And it basically follows some time in the day in the life of a young punk in SLC, Utah. So this is a comedy. It's very, very 90s. It's very in your face. It's got a nice, MTV quick cut style. I know a lot of people don't like Matthew Lillard and they don't like this movie.
We come from the East in search of the Messiah. We follow that big star.
That's okay. I like it. If you like it, I recommend picking this up. So anyway, back to the disc. This 4K looks just as you would expect it. It looks great. It's a film from the 90s, so it's not going to blow anyone away with its image quality, but it's a good, decent upgrade from the DVD. If you're happy with the DVD, I say keep it. If you need this on 4K, yeah, pick it up like I did. But honestly, it looks good and sounds good, but it's not going to blow your socks off image-wise. So you're not missing a whole lot if you skip this. But if you love it, pick it up.
And if you want to live high, live high. And if you want to live low, live low.
Next up, we have a film from one of my favorite directors, Tim Burton, and that is Mars Attacks on Blu-ray. So also at Amoeba Hollywood. I picked up Mars Attacks for about 15 bucks. I've been hot and cold on this movie my entire life, never really fully loving or hating it. But recently, the way movies have been sucking so much, I've been yearning for some, nostalgic entertainment. And of course, I realized this is one of the few Tim Burton movies I need to own. So I set out to buy it. That was probably a bad idea because at that time, Beetlejuice had just came out. Tim Burton was more popular, and this had gone up in price a little bit. It was about the $20 price point when I've seen it before at the $5 price point. I mean, who cares? If you love the movie, get it or don't. But I decided, hey, 15 bucks, little man, put this Mars Attacks is a zany adventure based on the Topps trading cards, if I'm not mistaken. Mars Attacks is a crazy adventure with an ensemble cast from the 90s. Tim Burton, I would say the peak of his powers, because he could literally do just about anything by about 1995, 96. I think this was 96. Yeah, 96. So this is a fun little romp. It's not for everyone. As I said before, I was hot and cold on it, so who knows how I'm going to feel about it now. I'm okay with some zany 90s action. I'm okay with it not being a perfect film or even Tim Burton's best. It's fun. And, picking it up now because it's on Blu-ray and it's a Warner Brothers Blu-ray, why not? Oh boy, next up we have a good one. The Hitcher on 4K from Second Sight.
Yeah! Yeah!
Now you might be thinking to yourself, wow, that doesn't look like the Hitcher I bought. No, this is the standard edition and I bought it on purpose. I really don't like big bulky box sets with big booklets that I'm never gonna read. I would rather have a slim case like this. As you can see, I don't have a whole lot of real estate here, so plus I generally don't read those booklets, those novels that come with some of these special edition, and I'm betting you don't either, or at least most people don't. One thing is you still get the regular 4K in here, so you're not missing anything in terms of content-wise on the disc. I checked this out just to preview it a little bit. It looks really good. If you don't like grain in your old 80s movies, maybe don't pick this up. So I haven't watched this yet, but I was able to preview it just a little bit, and I could definitely say with full confidence that this is a big upgrade from the HBO Snapper Case DVD from way back when. That's the last time I owned the Hitcher on physical media, and it looks like this is going to be the last time I get the Hitcher on physical media because this is kind of the ultimate package. Second Sight came through again with another fine presentation, and the image and audio on this look and sound amazing. Film grain haters though, you were going to hate it because, you know, this is a film shot in the 80s on film. There's going to be film grain. It's not going to look pristine, but it looks true to source, and that's all I care about. As for the extras, of course, I haven't dove in on those yet, but I will eventually. I really want to go through and watch this movie from start to finish because it's been a long time. I can't wait, and I'm glad that I have Second Sight's version of this. The Hitcher is basically about a young guy played by C. Thomas Howell. He's driving a car across the country for his job, and he basically runs into a hitchhiker on the road, played by Rutger Hauer in an amazing role. Basically, it's a cat and mouse game, and Rutger Hauer is just a sadistic killer, and he likes to toy with C. Thomas Howell, and he does some pretty nasty shit throughout this movie. This is definitely worth checking out if you're into 80s films, if you're into the thriller genre, if you're into Rutger Hauer, if you're into just action movies in general, suspense, you should check this out. And you should definitely get the Second Sight 4K. Warner Brothers is releasing a slimmed down version of the Hitcher.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them.
You know, it's going to be the same image and audio because it's the same master, but I think they're just slimmed down on the features. It's a little lower on the price because I guess they think people who won't want to pay boutique label prices will buy their version. I say go with the Second Sight version because Second Sight's a great company. They do great work. You're going to get all these bonus features that come with this. And why give your money to Warner Brothers when there's Second Sight? Next up, I have a hell of a trip for you, and that is Fried Barry on Blu-ray. So Fried Barry is basically about a drug addict named Barry who gets abducted by aliens, and then they take control over his body and basically move him throughout a city doing sex, drugs, violence, you name it. And it's a crazy, trippy mess, right? I don't really remember this movie a whole lot. Now I know what you're thinking, but that's just because it's been a long time since I've seen it. I saw it on Shudder a few years ago, and I kind of was just waiting casually over a long time for a price drop. It dropped to about $10 or under, and I had to pick it up from Amazon. So I can't really recommend this 100% because it's been a long time, but I will say that when I did see it, I enjoyed it. It made me laugh. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And it was kind of a little hidden gem, a little cult classic that I think it deserves a little bit more respect because I couldn't believe I hadn't heard more about this movie. So go check out Fried Barry. Tell me what you think in the comments below because I can't remember. But hopefully by the time this video comes out, I will have checked it out again.
You're more important than us. You have to save yourself. What is your name?
Check it out. Next up, we have a 4K upgrade. I already had the Blu-ray, so of course I had to get the 4K, and that was The Truman Show from Paramount. So apparently this release has gotten a lot of discourse online for the bitrate and some DNR. I previewed it the other day. I didn't see anything that was really egregious. It also comes with the Blu-ray, so coming from the Blu-ray, I feel like I'm only gaining a 4K edition here, and the digital, of course, but you know, honestly, I would rather just have this 4K because, again, it comes with the Blu-ray too, and if I want to watch that, I'll watch that.
I like your pen. I was wondering that myself.
If you're unfamiliar with the movie, and I don't see how you could be, but if you are, Jim Carrey plays Truman Burbank, and I almost said Truman Capote. Jim Carrey plays Truman Burbank. His life is the subject of a reality TV show, and he doesn't know about it. I know this is a trope all the time. How could anyone not know about this? But I'm assuming people have not seen this movie. Basically, it's a drama from Jim Carrey, and at the time it was kind of out of left field because we all expected him to keep doing funny movies forever. He got really serious in this, and I think it paid off because he gives a hell of a performance. Everyone gives a hell of a, I mean, Ed Harris is fantastic in this. I like The Truman Show a lot, and again, to upgrade this, it was a no-brainer for me. So if you want to upgrade, I say go for it if it's cheap enough. If it's like 20 bucks or under, pick it up.
Is that the best you can do?
So I finally got the 4K 80s action extravaganza from Vinegar Syndrome starring Chuck Norris in. I finally got it in, and that is Invasion USA on 4K from Vinegar Syndrome.
If you come back in here, I'm gonna hit you with so many rights, you're gonna beg for a laugh.
The wave of violence that began inexplicably last night is continuing and intensifying all across the nation today. Authorities have thus far been helpless in their efforts to prevent it.
I don't know who you are or who you're fighting for. Nobody is beyond the law.
See you in hell. Send me a postcard.
So Invasion USA is one of Chuck Norris's better movies, if not his best movie. So Chuck Norris plays a guy who is retired from the CIA, and he's in Florida living his life, and one of his old enemies comes out of hiding and tries to draw him out so he can get his revenge, basically. That's your basic plot. It's been a long time since I've seen this, but I remember loving it, and I've been kind of hunting this 4K ever since it came out. I had a couple of chances to get it, and it just didn't work out. So I was finally able to get it on eBay, and I even got the slipcover with it, which I wasn't really looking to get, but hey, bonus. The inside is actually pretty, you know, there's your cover too. That's badass. So anyway, Invasion USA, I previewed this a little bit, and it looks really good. It's definitely worth your money. If you can find this for about 40 bucks, which is about what it's going for, I suggest getting it at that price point.
Bienvenido a los Estados Unidos.
So I highly recommend Invasion USA. We are already at the halfway mark. I told you that was going to be a fast one. So before we go any further, please don't forget to like the video, share, and subscribe to the channel. While you're at it, please comment below. What do you think of Fried Berry? Are you going to pick up the Hitcher from WB or Second Sight? And if you do pick Second Sight, are you going to go with the standard or the deluxe edition? Let's get back to the movie, shall we? This next title has so much discourse going for it that I'm really not even going to talk about it for very long at all. I'm just going to say that I'm really glad that I went to Rasputin Music because I was able to pick up a copy of The Abyss on 4K for $10 used. Came with the slipcover, came with the digital copy. It was basically like buying it brand new. Now I know right now The Abyss is pretty high in price. I don't know why. Aliens and True Lies are pretty readily available and they're at pretty decent prices. For some reason The Abyss is really high. I don't know why.
How about I just go eat some hay? I can make things out of clay and lay by the bay. I just may. What do you say?
And that's all I'm going to say about this because I'll let the rest of the internet do the talking on this one for me. But I like The Abyss, and I have no problem owning this release. Next, we have one of my favorite films of all time, and it's directed by one of my favorite directors of all time, Paul Thomas Anderson, and that is Punch Drunk Love on 4K from Sony. So just like SLC Punk, this is another 4K that's only available in a Sony Pictures box set, and it's not available individually. So I went the eBay route again and picked this up for a pretty decent price. I think it was around 30 bucks. In my mind, that's a hell of a price for this because I would rather buy this than buy that whole big box from Sony. I believe Paul Thomas Anderson himself put it this way: Punch Drunk Love is basically an art house Adam Sandler film. And that's exactly right. Adam Sandler, in one of his first dramatic roles, plays Barry Egan, who is a mild-mannered, timid, very awkward, very introverted man, and I really identify with that. But he gets himself in a little bit of trouble and at the same time starts having meetings with this woman he really likes, and they kind of develop a romance. This is a 90-minute comedy from Paul Thomas Anderson, a guy who's known for making 2.5-hour epics, and basically this is... I don't know how to say this other than this is just a weird, lighthearted, fun, funny, romantic, great little movie. I think a lot of people went and saw it expecting Billy Madison to, and they were disappointed when that's not what they got. You know, this is one of my favorite films. 30 bucks for the 4K. Great, perfect. So I went through and previewed this, and I can safely say that this is a definite upgrade over the Criterion Blu-ray, which I own and will now be getting rid of because this is my definitive edition of this film. It carries over all of the special features from the Criterion, which is weird, but hey, I'll take it. I believe they were also the special features that were on the DVD when it was originally released. Punch Drunk Love, again, one of my favorite films of all time. Worth 30 bucks, picking it up on eBay. If you can do the same, I highly recommend it.
What do you want a number for?
All I want is a number. Can you help me out?
Tell me why. Do you like
There's
her?
no reason for you to treat me this way.
You like her?
You're killing me. You're killing me with the way you are towards me. All I want is a fucking number. That should be goddamn good enough for you. Now give me the fucking number.
Okay.
You fucking hear me?
Yes.
I'm sick of this fucking shit.
Barry.
Stop fucking treating me this way. Give me a fucking number. I'll fucking kill you. You want that?
It even came with the slipcover that reveals the original poster art for Punch Drunk Love. So happy to have that, because I wasn't a big fan of the Criterion cover. It was fine, but I like this a lot better. So yeah, highly recommended. Check it out. Next up, we have one of my favorite movies from the 80s and one of my favorite movies as a child growing up. And I won't say a whole lot about it because it's Labyrinth on 4K.
Power of voodoo. You do. Remind me of the babe.
And if you know, you know. Labyrinth is about Jennifer Connelly, who wishes her little baby brother would go away. And the Goblin King, played famously by David Bowie in this role, comes and takes baby Toby and says, come get him by tomorrow midnight or he'll turn into a goblin. So Jennifer Connelly is on a quest to save her baby brother from Jareth, the Goblin King. David Bowie, what a true talent. It's really sad that he's gone. I won't say too much more about this movie because if you know, you know. So I know that Shout Factory of all people is putting out a big box set of this and The Dark Crystal, I think in December, and I could honestly care less about those releases. I know they'll probably have Dolby Vision and that's a selling point for me, but that's about it.
Nothing. 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 Tra-la-la.
Again, I like thin cases, not huge boxes with a lot of crap, so honestly, this for $9 in HDR10, that's fine for me. Labyrinth is fantastic because it has a lot of true craftsmanship to it. It has a lot of puppetry and practical effects. There's one of the best movies of the 80s. The puppetry work done by Jim Henson and crew is amazing. It's got some great music, great David Bowie, Jennifer Connelly. I mean, what are you doing? Go watch this. All right. Next up, I have a true hidden gem in every sense of the word, and this was a perfect film to watch during my Halloween marathon for October, and that is Sundown, The Vampire in Retreat.
Sundance.
From Vestron and Lionsgate. This was only released in film festivals in Seattle and Palm Springs, if I'm not mistaken, so it didn't have a theatrical release. And then I believe it went on VHS and DVD and then now Blu-ray from Vestron and Lionsgate. A friend of mine showed this to me a few years ago, and I wasn't too sure about it, and I actually thought it was pretty damn entertaining. This goes for about 10 to 12 bucks on Blu-ray, and you can get it basically anywhere, Amazon, whatever. But the film itself is pretty good because it's a true horror comedy in every sense of the word, and it's very serious on the horror, but it's got some really good jokes and some just, I don't know how to describe this movie. Let me just read the box here for a second. The road to Purgatory, the city, is paved with good intentions, and Count Mardelach won't have it any other way. He's seeking atonement for centuries of human carnage, which is why he's instructed Purgatory's vampire residents to slather on the SPF 100 sunblock, pursue daytime activities, and drink only synthetic blood. But some vampires don't agree with Mardelach. They want the real thing, and if that means wooden bullets flying in a vampire civil war, so be it. Sundown is a vampire horror comedy, obviously, and it's got people like David Carradine and Bruce Campbell in it. Like I said, it's a true hidden gem in the fact that it's a really good movie, but you don't hear about it a lot. It's also available on YouTube if you don't want to blind buy the Blu-ray, but like I said, this should be only about 10 to 12 bucks, and it comes with a digital copy from Lionsgate and Vestron Video. Highly recommend this. Pick it up.
Welcome to Purgatory. This small Arizona community is home to a very select group of retirees. Here they live long lives, share the same desires and the same needs, like blood.
How can you drink that stuff called
synthetic blood?
Tastes real.
So they won't have to kill anyone.
What kind of bullets can kill vampires? Ah!
Fortified wood. David Carradine, Morgan Brittany, and Deborah Foreman.
I wasn't gonna bite you!
In Sundown.
All right, everybody, we are down to the last two titles on the list here, and there's some pretty good ones. Now, this one, I can't believe it, but I think this is actually starting to get harder to find, if not completely out of print, and that is Blade 2 from New Line and Warner Brothers. I'm noticing a trend here, Warner Brothers. All your stuff's going out of print.
Well, all right.
Yeah, I found this at our good friends at Rasputin Music for about $5.95 used, and I didn't have Blade 2. I had part 1, obviously, but for some reason I didn't own this one. This one I like a lot because Guillermo del Toro directed it. You know, it's a true sequel in every sense of the word. It basically moves the story with Blade forward. It gives us new and exciting villains. It gives us new and exciting effects, and it doesn't really retread a whole lot of what the first film did, and that's great. I like that.
Maybe you need a little bit of incentive. Okay, I help you with that. What's the matter? You miss that? It's okay, I can do it again.
It's been a long time since I've seen it, but it's definitely worth picking up if you can find it. I'm also kind of suspicious thinking that there might be a 4K of Blade 2 or maybe even a 4K 3-pack of all 3 movies coming from Warner down the line. I haven't heard anything, that's just speculation, but I don't know, maybe it's the Wesley Snipes train from Wolverine and Deadpool that's still running, and that's why this is popular and harder to find. So it may not be completely out of print in every sense of the word, but eBay prices were starting at about 22, 25 bucks. So proceed with caution. If you like Blade 2 and can get it easily and cheaply, get it. All right, last movie of the evening. A 4K from Paramount of a 90s thriller starring Kurt Russell that's gaining a cult following. Breakdown on 4K from Paramount. So, Breakdown was released a few years ago on Blu-ray from Paramount under the Paramount Presents banner, and for some reason went quickly out of print shortly after being released. So that drove eBay prices up. People wanted this, and then the Australian label Imprint then released this on Blu-ray, and people imported it. I didn't. Then Paramount said that they were going to come out with Breakdown on 4K as part of their Paramount Scares box set, which is a mind-boggling weird box set, but that's a whole nother story. So then Paramount came out and said, we're going to release this on 4K individually here and in the UK. Well, they pulled the release from the United States and they left the UK copy be released, so people in the UK got theirs. The only way that we could get it was through that Paramount Scares box set. So much like SLC Punk and Punch Drunk Love, someone else was selling this on eBay, pulled from the Paramount Scares box set, And I gotta admit, it was at a pretty damn good price because being so hard to get, I got this for about 25, 26 bucks. Well worth it. So Breakdown is about a married couple played by Kurt Russell and Kathleen Quinlan. They are driving across country on their way to California to start a new life. Halfway through the desert, their car breaks down and a passerby played by JT Walsh offers to take Kurt Russell's wife to a phone and they will meet up later.
An unexpected breakdown.
Can you believe this?
A helpful passerby.
Folks all right?
Our car broke down.
I can give you a ride to Bell's, a little diner about 5 miles down the road. They got a payphone. You call a tow truck. They just come in and haul you out.
It could happen to anyone.
Well, Kurt Russell goes to meet his wife at the designated meeting place and she's not there. So the rest of the film is about him trying to find and get back his wife. Honestly, I haven't seen this in a long time, but I remember really, really loving it and thinking that it was much better than it deserved to be. So I saw this back on DVD about 10, 15 years ago, and I remember being amazed then and thinking it was a hidden gem then. And ever since then, it's kind of grown into this big cult following that's just getting bigger and bigger day by day. And now we have all these releases, and I just wanted a 4K, and here we go, I got one. So if you can get this either through the Paramount Scares box set or like I did from somebody who just sold us individually on eBay, I highly recommend this movie.
Excuse me. I was supposed to meet my wife here. She's dark haired, about 5'5". Doesn't ring a bell.
Pull over!
Now an ordinary man.
Listen, I'm looking for my wife. Look, I don't know how to tell you this, but I've never seen you before in my life.
Has an unbelievable story.
It was him. It was this truck.
The police are doubtful.
I searched the truck. No sign of a struggle.
The locals are suspicious.
You know, there's over 100,000 people go missing in this country every year, all vanishing without a trace.
But he's not worried about the ones who think he's crazy.
My wife did not leave me.
He's worried about the ones who know he's telling the truth.
You the fella looking for his wife?
Get down on the ground!
Police just one's in on it.
Like I said, it's been a while, but I do remember loving this a lot, and I actually can't wait to sit down and check it out. Full transparency though, I went to check out the transfer, which looked pretty good upon first inspection, and I actually got kind of caught up watching it and had to stop myself because it was, you know, a random place in the middle of the movie, but it sucked me in. Highly recommend Breakdown if you can get it. There are ways of watching this and even owning this. Like I said, there is a DVD that should probably still be available on the secondary market. There's also the Blu-ray from Imprint that you might have to import, maybe get it from Diabolique or eBay. You could also check on eBay and see if anyone else is selling this 4K like how I got it. It's out there, it's available. It's just, you have to dig, you have to find it. I swear, I really don't plan these big, out of print, crazy to hard to find titles at the end of my video. It just really legit happens that way. I do not plan that at all, I swear. So there you have it. That was this month's episode of Physical Therapy. What did you think of my titles? Let me know in the comments below. Join me next month where I will be talking about the Criterion titles I picked up during the Barnes & Noble Criterion sale for November. It runs the whole month of November and is here to drain your wallets completely. I picked up a title today already, and I've got another one coming in the mail because they didn't have it. The first title I'm going to talk about next month, I'll give you a little hint. Plate of Shrimp. Don't forget to like this video, share, subscribe to the channel. I am also on Instagram at red.i.reviews. There'll be a link in the description. And don't forget to keep those eyes red, baby. See ya.
I just want to get up to my shack and get drunk.
Andale.
I love movies. I love making them, and I am a fan of movies.
Be my victim.
Do you like the Elton John song Rocket Man?
I don't like soft ass shit. And you don't even want to fuck with that Mac Daddy.
God damn you! God damn all of you!